Sometimes the reason you can't achieve things or progress in life isn't because you're not working hard enough, isn't because you're lazy, isn't because you didn't put enough time, effort, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes the reason you're not getting ahead is because you can't forgive people. So, the other day I had my piano lesson, and I love to talk to people. So I'm talking to my piano instructor because, like, I was kind of doing terribly in that lesson. I was kind of trying to not engage in that. But we were talking, and she was telling me about her son. And her son is like, I don't know, around 30, and he has a lot for himself. Like, she was talking about how he literally is almost like a millionaire and, like, just sold his business for $500,000 and blah, blah, blah. And she was telling me how he is threatening, like, to never speak to her again, and he blames her for not being in a relationship. And she was like, I don't really understand why he feels this way and stuff like that. And then she was like continuing to explain the story, and I saw why he felt the way he did, and it reminded me of me because I also went through things with my parents, and it made me blame all of my current problems on my parents. And I was telling her, sometimes when people don't forgive others, they end up projecting all their problems onto the other person, when in reality they're blaming them for something that happened 10,000 years ago. And in reality, we don't know why the person did what they did, and sometimes the person is not aware. And in that reality, I feel like she wasn't even aware of what she did either. Maybe he forgot what she did, but he remembers it subconsciously, and it's bothering him, and he needs to forgive her. And just like with me, I remember in the past, like, I would watch my parents like be in an abusive relationship, and it would bother me so deeply because now I'm growing up and I'm watching myself grow up, and I'm like, okay, I dislike men because of this, and they did this to me, and now I can't get a partner because they were fighting all the time. Now I can't get a man. Or like, oh, I didn't have money growing up and everyone else has money, and now I'm like a low life. But that's not my identity. It's me who chooses if I take on that identity, because Christ already told me who I am. And if you don't believe in Christ, whatever, but you still choose the identity that you put on. You choose to be a victim or be victorious. And sometimes we choose to stay in place. Like, we could physically run, but if our mental state is 10 years back, we're going to always be 10 years back, and we'll never progress. And that's how you get like generations and generations falling into the same thing over and over and over. But I realized in that moment, I'm not angry anymore at my mom. I'm not angry anymore at my dad. And you know why? Because I chose to forgive them, even though it's really, really, really hard. But yeah, I had to let that out. Maybe instead of trying to do everything else on earth, try to forgive the people that you feel like you can never forgive. Try to do it. Try to take one step to forgiveness. And I promise you it'll get a lot better. Yeah.